Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Nationalist Show with Kennedy Bomo. I'm doing a follow-up video on the one titled How Uhuru, or rather how Dr. Ruto outsmarted President Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila Odinga, and the deep state. The follow-up video is with respect to the tweet by Mutahi Ngunyi, which I will read to you, then we will proceed to analyze. Before I do that, I do urge you once again, if you're watching us for the first time, do subscribe. If you have been watching us and yet to subscribe, also kindly do so. So the tweet reads, maybe Raila was a decoy, and Uhuru's plan all along was to hand over power to Ruto. I say so because Uhuru acted suboptimally in this election. He handed over his constituency to Ruto without a fight, then disabled deep state. Was this the Kumi Kumi plan? Well, to me, if I read that tweet, the tweet is intended to do one thing: to save Uhuru Kenyatta the embarrassing loss that Dr. Ruto gave him. Politics, I believe, is black and white. It is never in the shades of gray. Whatever you see is what you get. Politics is black and white. Uhuru Kenyatta did not support Dr. William Ruto. So what is happening, especially from within the rank of his supporters or bloggers, they're trying to turn this around so that the president may seem as a smart person, the political spin master that is made to be to all Kenyans, that all along he's been playing Honorable Raila Odinga. This is intended so that his constituency, he may be saved the embarrassment or the embarrassing loss that Dr. Ruto really gave him. Because for so many people, this was a fight between President Uhuru Kenyatta and Dr. William Ruto. Why am I also saying so? I'm saying so because Dr. Ruto understood the assignment. He knew from the point go that Uhuru Kenyatta was not going to support him. And I think these were indications that he picked early enough, and he realized that if I waited, then I'm going to fry myself. So before President Uhuru Kenyatta knew it, he would go and visit Central and in many occasions give huge donations, build houses for people, interact with the people at the ground level. By the time President Uhuru Kenyatta realized his constituency had left him, he could not command them because those were his soldiers, those who he believed that he could tell them go this way and they would go. So to win the presidency, Dr. Ruto understood that he had to have Central Kenya intact, or rather Mount Kenya intact. So he had to have that number intact and ensure that whatever happened, whether or not President Uhuru Kenyatta would support him or not, then the people of Central Kenya would trust him that he is the right candidate to do their bidding and to protect their interest. So he did that by constantly visiting them. So such visits are ingrained in the minds of the local people in the ground because he interacted with these people at a very local level. And I'm made to understand, I do have a lot of friends from Kalenjin community who tell me that it is the style of politics of most Kalenjin leaders, that their leaders would always, every time over the weekend, would go back home to interact with the people. It is so important such that if you don't do that, then you are most likely not to win the next election. This is what Dr. Ruto applied at the national level. A strategy that has worked tremendously well for him. He realized that the only constituency that is maybe most slippery, because he did not see President Uhuru Kenyatta supporting him, would be to go to Central Kenya and ensure that is so much ingrained in their mind so that they remember that in the time of need, because President Kenyatta did not go to Central Kenya as much. So Ruto would be there almost every Saturday and any other Sunday. You would be there doing donations to churches, talking to people, interacting with the youths there in terms of sports or supporting projects. And not only supporting projects, he was there personally with these people, interacting with them at a personal level. That gives you the picture. It is like a person born and then you are introduced to some particular religion. That is what you know to be the truth. So by the time President Uhuru Kenyatta realized his constituency had left him and there was nothing he could do to recover that. That is why there was fear, if you could see, of him actually going and actively campaigning, because there was fear that he could be embarrassed by the people of Mount Kenya. This again is pointed to when Kang'ata's wrote a letter to the president telling him what is actually in the ground. So there is no way that there was some sort of collusion. Uhuru Kenyatta lost his constituency to Ruto without knowing. And not that he lost it without a fight. By the time he realized he had lost his constituency, he could no longer fight. He simply did not have the strength. And the little strength he had could not sway his constituency to believe that Ruto was not the best candidate for them. Why am I saying that? Because this person is always there with them, helping them. And then you want to tell them that Honorable Raila Odinga, who never comes there, who never helps with building of the churches or helping with some social activities, is the right candidate. Human beings work differently. Out of sight, out of mind, meaning the inverse is true. When you are always there, then the mind of the people will always be with you. You will be ingrained in their mind. They will remember you for your deeds. And therefore they remembered Ruto for his deeds. And when President Kenyatta would now come tell them that this is not the right candidate, they refused. So the allegation that by, I would say, Mutahi Ngunyi, that it was a plan or a decoy, this is meant to save the president the embarrassment. He's been embarrassed. The loss is so big. In fact, the loss is so much of an embarrassment to President Uhuru Kenyatta than Raila himself. Because this is a man who's beat you by taking your constituency away from you. And without you knowing, he's essentially the first man to be the kingpin of a region or of a community that he is not part. And I tell you this because I believe even without Rigathi Gachagua, he would still have won. If he would have picked Mudavadi, he would have still have won that constituency. Because they understood and knew and took him as one of their own. With respect to the allegation of deep state, again, Ruto just outsmarted these people. He understood how he understood that it is the IEBC that will eventually now announce the results. So he made friends with the right people. And if we go by what the allegations by the chairman of the commission is saying, that deep state indeed tried. From the judgment that I was read today, I'm quite certain that they tried to subvert the will of the people. And Dr. Ruto knew about this. In fact, in his address this evening, when he spoke about it, he's saying, I know President Uhuru Kenyatta tried as much as possible, but the will of the people prevailed. Because he understands that President Kenyatta did not want him to be president. So we can say what we want, but the truth is, Mutahi Ngunyi is trying to save the president some embarrassment. The loss is so much for the president because, as Dr. William Ruto said, the war was between him and the president, and he has come out on top. Ladies and gentlemen, that marks the end. I urge you to subscribe again, share these videos, and leave your comment. Would really love to know your comment regarding our videos. Thank you very much.